Believe it or not, it is under 2 weeks now before myself and Liga pack up our bags and head off on the biggest challenge of the year, and that is Ultra X Jordan. So we're going to be running a 5-day multi-stage race covering 220 kilometers in the harsh, hot environment of the deserts of Jordan. Neither of us have ever taken on a race like this, so we are super excited about the whole thing, but maybe slightly nervous as well about all those unknowns when you take on a race like this. One thing we do know is we've had to sort out a lot of kit to get us through our 5-day adventure. So before I pack everything away neatly in my bag, I thought I'd run you guys through all the gear and all the kit that we're going to be using at Ultra X Jordan. So without further ado, let's get stuck into the video. Welcome back, folks. Thanks for tuning in again. I'm Lloyd Purvis and this is Run4Adventure. So it is episode 3 of our Road to Jordan series where we're following all our prep for the race, and then I'm going to be taking the camera kit along to the deserts of Jordan and capturing and documenting every single footstep of the 220 kilometers. Now, it's going to be pretty challenging to race and to film at the same time, but I really wanted to bring all of you guys along on the adventure with us. Right, let's dive into the kit list. And first up, we have a mandatory race kit list that has to be carried with us at all times throughout the stages. And that list is, let me consult this. It's a running pack or hydration system with the capacity for a minimum of 1.5 litres of water, a durable waterproof jacket with a hood and tape seams, a Legionnaire style hat that's going to give you full head covering and the nap of the neck, a buff or something similar that's going to cover your nose and mouth, a high quality head torch with spare batteries or a second unit, a whistle, a watch, GPS watch advised, a personal sort of basic small first aid kit, emergency food reserve. So this is something that you don't want to touch. It's going to be in your pack if you need it for emergencies, and that's got to be a minimum of 800 calories. A fully charged mobile phone with the GPX file uploaded, suitable running shoes obviously, desert gaiters, something that we'll mention in a minute and show you in a bit more detail, and also a printed copy of your insurance showing emergency contact number and the policy number. So that's all going to be carried in our Salomon Advanced Skin 12 hydration vest while we're running, but we also get a drop bag in camp that we can access after every stage, and that's where we're going to store all our sort of food supplies, our sleeping bag, our roll mat, and my camera kit, our camp clothes and things like that. Now, this drop bag can only weigh up to 18 kilos, and 18 kilos sounds like a lot of weight, and it is, but when you start adding up all the gear, all the food and all the stuff you need for a race like this, it's actually quite hard to keep it under 18 kilos. But let's start off with all my race kit first. There's been lots of people saying on forums and on the WhatsApp group that road shoes would be fine in that desert environment, but we're both actually going for trail shoes, and trail shoes that we know really well and we've done lots of miles in, and they're super comfy. So I'm going to be wearing Saucony's Exodus Ultra 2. Liga is going with her trusty Innovate trail flies. She wore that for all her training out in Chamonix and for the race, and she had no foot issues at all. Obviously, we're going to be pairing those shoes up with our Raid Light Desert Gaiters. So while we're out in France, we managed to find some gaiters and we sent them off to Raid Light to get them put on our shoes. So it's not like your standard sort of ankle gaiter for mud and grit. A desert gaiter, you have to have the Velcro stitched all the way around the outside of the shoe, and then the Velcro on the gaiter sticks down to that Velcro on the shoe and gives you a nice tight seal, making sure that no sand gets in. You don't want to get sand in your shoes. You know, a big issue when you're running in those conditions is looking after your feet, and people can really suffer. So we've tested out the gaiters on the Towers of Hail and they passed with flying colours, so hopefully they'll do a good job in the desert. As far as our running apparel goes, we're both going to be wearing hot weather kit from Soar. Now, the brand has featured on the channel a couple of times. I actually wore their winter kit back in 2023 for the Arc of Attrition, and the kit performed really well. Unfortunately, I didn't. My body let me down, but the kit was really good. But this is kit from the other end of the spectrum. So super technical fabrics, really well made, ultra lightweight, highly breathable. We've tested it again here at home and I think it's going to perform so well out in the desert. We've also got a couple of their great Sahara caps, so good head covering, a good sized brim to cover the eyes, to give you a bit of shade, but also good neck covering, which is definitely going to be important. You know, we don't want to get sunstroke or anything like that. Desert temperatures, this time of year, it could range from anything from 22 degrees up to 40 plus degrees. So hopefully it's not 40 degrees, somewhere in the middle should be okay, but I think the kit's going to perform well and keep us well protected. Like I mentioned earlier, we need a waterproof jacket with tape seams and a hood, and I'm going to be using Soar's Nano Rain jacket. I'm not sure I'm going to need a waterproof jacket in the desert this time of the year, but you never know. We need to have it as part of the mandatory kit. Also, I'm going to have a little Harrier first aid kit, one of their survival bags, and we're both going to be using their brilliant Havellan Carbon Pro poles, which I dare say will come in handy as the race goes on. My running underwear of choice is always the CXP endurance underwear. I've been wearing them for a good couple of years now. Great fabric, super fit, very, very comfortable over distance, never had any irritation or problems like that. So I'll be taking several pairs of those with me. As far as GPS watch, I'm going to be having the Coros Apex Pro on my wrist with the GPX files on it. Although I've heard it's a very well marked route, so I probably won't need those files, but you never know, it's worth having them. I don't want to be that person wandering around the middle of the desert lost. Obviously, a big part of race day is nutrition and hydration, but maybe the hydration factor is even more important when the race takes part in a hot desert. But as far as nutrition goes, we're going to be relying predominantly on Precision Fuel and Hydration standard gels and their energy chews. Super tasty. We were using both of them out in Chamonix and Switzerland for all our training and racing, and they work so well. Great levels of energy, and we had no stomach issues at all through training or racing. So, you know, I've been using the product for a while now, and it definitely works well for both of us. As far as electrolytes go, we're going to be using their Precision Fuel and Hydration's 1000 pH electrolyte tablets, popping them in our bottles to start with, and as we go through the checkpoints, renewing them. And I'll have some of their salt tablets just as a backup. We'll also be carrying some savoury stuff, you know, pretzels and peanuts, things like that when it comes to race day. And I mentioned we need a head torch and a spare battery. If you follow the channel, you'll know I'm a massive fan of Phoenix head torches. Super well made, very dependable, bright, really good burn time, and they've never let me down over all the years of training and racing. So both myself and Liga are going to be using the HM65RT, definitely my head torch of choice. A couple of the stages start early, especially the long stage, so we're going to need a head torch then, and we might need it around camp at night. But that's pretty much all my sort of race kit done. But it's when we start to look at the kit we need in camp where it gets quite interesting, because it's very different kit to what you'd normally take on your sort of standard run-of-the-mill ultra marathon. So let's take a little bit of a closer look at my camp kit. So first up, let's talk all about sleeping arrangements. So the way the race works is when we finish the end of the stage, we'll turn up at a sort of tented village that has been put up by the race organisers, Ultra X. We're going to be sleeping under the stars in traditional Jordan tents in groups of 10. So I'm sure we're going to make some great acquaintances and some great friends along the way. But when it comes to sleeping, I'm going to be taking a sort of standard rollout foam mattress. I'm going to lay down first, and that's going to protect my air mattress when it comes to punctures. I mentioned air mattress, I'm going to be using this. So it's a Vango air mattress, you can see, super compact, so only weighs 410 grams. It's not going to take up much room in my camp kit bag either, but it is incredibly comfortable. So we actually tested these out when we did Ultra X Scotland earlier in the year, and I got a great night's sleep using this. So this is going to come in handy. I'm going to actually pair it up with a Vango soft foldable pillow. I know, I hear you all say, oh, bless him, but I do need a soft pillow. It really does help when it comes to my sleep. So this is really, really important. And then we're gonna have an eye mask, and we're gonna have some earplugs, because people have recommended that to take with us so we get a good night's sleep. And you know, races like this, the sleep is so important. You know, you want to get a good night's sleep. That's where you're going to do all your recovery, and that's going to prepare you for the next day's stage. And then my sleeping arrangements are finished up with a Kelty sleeping bag. So this goes down to -1 degree C and it's quite lightweight and packable. I've used this on lots of trips away. We were using them out in Chamonix and it's always kept me nice and warm and toasty. So I'm sure I'll be fine in this when it comes to the desert. Food wise, we're going to need to replace a lot of calories at the end of the day after running each stage. But like I mentioned, we're limited to 18 kilos when it comes to our camp bag. So we've needed to make sure that every item of food we're taking is high in calories. So we're going to kick off the day with a tasty flapjack and a little sachet of latte coffee. Hot water is supplied in camp. Okay, it's not a Moody's coffee from Chamonix, but I'm pretty sure the combination of the two things, first thing in the morning in the middle of the desert, is gonna taste pretty good. And those two items combined give us 600 calories. So that's a pretty good kickstart to the day. Once back at camp, it's all about replenishing those calories that you've burnt while you've been out there running. So I'm going to actually go for the Talk Explore pasta meals. So I've got a combination of tomato and basil, chili non carne and creamy mushroom. They are high in protein and they're packed full of calories. So over 500 calories per sachet. Really simple to use. So just open them up, pour in 300 to 400 ml of hot water, give it a good stir, seal it up, leave it for 10 minutes and it's ready to go. You know, it couldn't be any simpler. And when it comes to your food at camp, you want to get in, you want to get washed, change your clothes and then get the food on, and you want it to be quick and easy and no fuss. So these should be perfect for that. I'm also going to pair that up with, you know, some peanuts, some pretzels, bags of sweets, we've got biscuits and maybe the odd coffee along the way. As far as the interesting topic of washing and going to the toilet in the desert, I'm pretty sure there's not going to be any showers or toilets at Ultra X Jordan. So we're going to be taking the next best thing, a shower in a bag. So we got 4 packs of wet wipes. So we're going to give ourselves a good clean down after running. And then we're going to get our camp kit on that will be in our camp bag. So I've got a pair of Saw running tights, I've got one of their Ultra jackets and a merino beanie that's going to keep me nice and warm and cozy in camp at night. And you know, I think that's going to be a pretty good feeling, cleaning off, getting that camp kit on after a long hot day's worth of running in the desert. I'm also taking my hand roller and a massage ball because, you know, super important to get on that body maintenance straight away when you're back at camp. Roll everything out, get everything loose, because you know it's all about replenishing the system and recovering the system so you can go again the next day. And as far as going to the toilet goes, I'm not going to go into too much graphic detail, but we are going to be taking these Eco Powder toilet bags. Now it is a biodegradable bag that has a powder in that actually turns fluid and solid waste into a gel, and then you can dispose of the bag. So very clever stuff. Never used them before. We haven't tested them out before the race, so I'm sure we'll have to learn as we go through the race. But I know one thing for sure, it's going to be an interesting life experience, and that's what races like this are all about. And on that rather delightful note, that's pretty much all the kit that I'm going to be taking to the deserts of Jordan. Obviously there's a few other bits and pieces like sunscreen, sunglasses, mosquito spray, multivitamins, my recovery slides for in camp after the running, and we're both going to be taking 2 big dry bags so I can put all my food stuff in here and all my camera kit in the other one, just to make sure it stays nice and safe and nice and protected. Okay, so that brings the video to an end. All I need to do now is organise all this kit and get it packed away in my camp bag, and I'm actually using a 100 litre waterproof duffel bag. So that should keep everything nice and protected. Really hope you've enjoyed the video, guys. If you've got any extra questions about multi-stage racing or Ultra X Jordan, please feel free to get them in the comments below and we'll try and get back to you. And also, I'll leave a link in the description for Ultra X so you can go and check out their website in case you want to find out any more information about the Jordan race or any of their other amazing races around the world. I also got to take this opportunity to give Saw a big shout out for supporting this series. The guys have been amazing. We've got some awesome kit to run in. It's going to perform so well out there in the desert. It's really going to help when it comes to that race. So big shout out to them, and I'll link their website below. So if you're in the market for any super technical, great fitting, very comfortable running apparel, it's definitely worth taking a look. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed the video and you found it helpful, to like, comment and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Only takes a second to do, but even better, it is completely free. So just click on that little red box down here in the corner. It really is a big help to the channel. We'll be back very soon with some more exciting running content. But as always, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, and stay safe and keep on running. All the unknown elements taking on a race in the desert over a super excited about the whole thing, and maybe slightly nervous about all the unknown elements. Back in 2023 for the Arc of Attrition, which was brilliant, but now we're at the other end of the spectrum.